Thanks, Aisha. Students at the Gateway High School in Aurora, Colorado, well, they just finished their first day back in class since the deadly movie theater shooting. About 50 Gateway students were inside the theater complex when the gunman opened fire. Extra counselors are going to be on hand this week to help the students work through that trauma. But you got to ask, where did they begin? And there's a lot more to this as it affects all of us around the country. I want to bring in psychologist Eric Fisher. Welcome him to Evening Express. Always good to talk to you.
Good to see you.
I'm wondering, what are these counselors, do you think, telling these young people today about what they may experience and how to deal with their emotions?
Well, for every age and developmental level, you're going to speak to the kids differently. So you're talking to kids potentially as young as kindergarten, but, you know, hopefully some kids that young haven't necessarily been exposed to it. They might have seen the news or things. But as you get into older grades, you're going to be getting into more of the details and helping them understand their feelings. This is not something that they're going to talk about week one and it's going to be resolved. This is something that they're going to have to watch over time, over weeks, over months, and they're going to really need to almost be able to compare what was this student's behavior last year versus this year. Because a lot of times you see extended changes in personality and behavior, in grades and sports performance and all these things that they really have to keep their eyes open to.
Okay, that's a good point. Now, with what happened, I want to broaden this outside of Aurora for a second. Right. With what happened in Colorado, with the bombing at the Sikh temple, I think it's kind of shaken our idea of what is a safe place around this country. Right. So for our families who are at home getting ready for dinner and maybe their kids are starting to wonder, what is a safe place nowadays? What should parents tell their kids? How do you have that discussion, not to alarm them, but to get them to see that places like this are still safe?
Well, you know, Ryan, I always talk about how every emotion we have, to me, has a purpose. The purpose of fear is it lets us know when we need to do things to protect us. However, we can have different degrees of fear, from almost a logical fear that I should feel nervous if I'm in a place I don't know, to terror and paranoia, you know, that goes way beyond. In this situation, I think we have to look at that when we start to make every place unsafe, we stop trusting our environment, we stop trusting ourselves, and we stop really looking at what is the pragmatics of the environment. What you want to do is you want to help your kids having a plan. When you go in this place, do you have an escape plan? Do you have somebody you're with? Who will you call if something happens?
Even with a movie theater or a school?
Exactly.
Like that. Okay.
Yeah, because we've seen that sometimes those environments can change. If we go around living in fear and with fear, we become prisoners to it. So we have to see the ability to plan and plan effectively. You know, they say a failure to plan is planning to fail. You know, so as long as our kids have a plan and we have choices, that's when often then fear subsides.
So just to clarify here, making sure a child can feel safe by having a plan. What are the escape routes? Who do I call if they feel concerned about being in a particular space?
Exactly. Exactly.
Right. Eric, so great to talk to you as always. Thank you so much. And you know, folks, so many victims of the Aurora shooting are still in the hospital or recovering from their injuries. If you'd like to reach out and to help them or their families who lost loved ones, log on HLNTV.com/Evening Express. We've posted a list of the best places to donate.